June 2026 status update for Basically Games from 4 hours ago. Hey everyone, it's been a couple months now since the last status update, so now it's time for another. Even though things are quieter now, right now, I still intend to stay in touch throughout the development through the rest of the Baldi's Basics Plus development through the status updates. This time around, I won't have much to share, but I still want to let you all know what's been going on over the last couple of months. Baldi's Basics Plus Early Access Development. Since the last status update, Baldi's Basics Plus 0.14.2 was released. This was another minor update with plenty of fixes and little improvements to the game. Since then, I've also done a bit more work that will be pushed out in a version 0.14.3 sometime in the near future. That said, my focus has been somewhere else. The horizontal slicing. What is that word? Mose? Okay. Since version 0.14.2 released, which I'll discuss below, so despite that the time that has passed since then, you can all still talk. Then you can all still expect 0.14.2 to be about the same size as the previous update. That said, I plan on diving back into 0.14.3 to work this week to make some improvements. In particular, I've heard a lot of feedback regarding Student Shuffle, so I'll dive into that event and see if I can balance it better. It needs to be optimized too. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The horizontal slice is finished. After many months, I've completed every task that was set for the horizontal slice version of the game. Every every key feature is now in Every key feature is now in what I am calling a placeholder significant state. Those features, while far from complete, now exist in some form, which means we now have an excellent blueprint for everything that needs to be in place for 1.0. This milestone, as huge as it is, will help Nyan and I properly plan out for the rest of the development. Even more importantly, though, completing the horizontal slices pushed me to fill in several blanks that still existed in the game's design document. While I had a solid grasp on the story of the game and how I wanted the game to be structured for a very long time, there were several finer details that I haven't quite pinned down. Oh no. Some of these gameplay ideas I wasn't happy with, while other were gameplay elements that I wanted to keep that weren't totally consistent with the story elements of the game. Like the farm field trip. Where's the farm field trip? The process of finishing the horizontal slice really pushed me to think through these issues, and I'm pretty happy to say there are practically no more blanks in the game's design document. I've pretty much pinned down all the whats and whys for the game's design and all the key features that we want represented in the horizontal slice. This is a lot of reading. I am super happy with how the pieces have been coming together, and I'm excited that you'll be able to see them all, and I'll be able to share it all when 1.0 releases. If all goes according to plan, I think the result will be a far more cohesive experience than Baldi's Basics has ever had before. Finally, as usual, here's an out-of-context screenshot of the development 1.0 branch of the project. What the hell? Right, we have a Baldicator, we have charcoals, we have the safe room, we have a bookshelf and a floor. Who is that? Who are you? New character confirmed? The number 44, and also... Is that Baldi in a locker? Is that Placeface or Baldi in a locker? Mose. An interactive music system for video games. The horizontal slice was completed around the end of April, which I had plans to take a significant time off and spend with family. So I decided to dedicate what time I would be working to Moise, an interactive music system I've been wanting to create for quite a while now. It looks like I haven't actually posted about Moise in the status update yet, so I'll explain what it is in a bit more detail. Excuse me. Baldi's Basics Plus currently features real-time MIDI music playback. That is, the music data stored as originally as a series of notes rather than one big waveform, which is how music is usually stored digitally. The notes are played back while the game is running by what are essentially virtual instruments. This is made possible using a Unity asset I purchased many years ago called, I'm going to act like I know how to say that word, aka MIDI Player Toolkit. MIDI. What a weird name. I'm a bit cold. The reason I took this route instead of using the more standard method of playing music in Baldi's Basics is because I wanted an authentic MIDI experience, sound to the game. Just like many games in the 90s before had, it's a subtle but allows for details such as music notes finishing when a song is stopped instead of the music audio being a hard cut or fading out, while you can still hear it continuing to play while it can continue to play. I'm a bit cold. I apologise. I get cold and I can't read properly. Here. Currently, word that I know how to say, works fantastically for the authenticity part. However, I really want to go beyond authenticity. I want to go interactive as well. I want each music track to be able to change in many different ways and base what's happening in game. This wasn't designed with interactivity in mind, and there were our workabouts, the spoilers. Sequence in Baldi's Basic Classic Remastered has interactive music powered by Word. Word. But that required a lot of hacky solutions. I realized many years ago, in order to achieve what I want, I would have to create my own solution, as I have never been able to find one that works how I quite want it to. So I came up with MOS, the musical open and interactive sequence engine. The idea is simple. It will allow for music sequence data to be played back note by note, similar how to I was thinking to how classic MIDI files work, but with a key difference. Each music command can be given a condition based on what's happening in the game. It determines whether or not it will basically activate. That means I will seamlessly be able to design interactive elements of the soundtrack while I'm composing it. Not only that, but it will also make it possible to do some really cool stuff that could only be achieved with a sequence music system like this, all while letting me maintain an authentic 90s video game MIDI sound. MOS is an open source tool, and I hope, my God, and I hope to use it far more than just Baldi's Basics. In the future. However, I have a lot of ideas on how I would love to use it in Baldi's Basics Plus, specifically. So I really hope to finish it in time and include it in the game. After a few years of spontaneous prototyping and planning, I began working on MOS early last year. Very little work has been done since then, except when I commissioned a programmer to help me get past some of the initial hurdles I was facing. In May, however, my God, he's yapping on. In May, however, I was finally able to dedicate a significant amount of time to the project, and I am very excited for how things are shaping up now. It's still very early, but most of the core functionality has been implemented, and now, with most of the major hurdles behind me, I've got some decent momentum going. The next major task is to create an editor so which I can actually compose music for the system, but the engine itself seems to be working as well as I hoped. Now, obviously, I can't cease work on Baldi's Basics Plus for several months to work exclusively on MOS. I just called it Moose. Even if that technically is work on the game. So my hope moving forward is to occasionally find time to chip away at MOS while keep my focus directly related to Baldi's Basics Plus. Hopefully that all makes sense. As I am excited about MOS, I understand that it is not the easiest thing to explain. Once I have a good example of it, of MOS in action, I'd love to show it off since I think it'll be the best way to explain it, but unfortunately I'm not quite sure how there yet. Hopefully, I assume oh my God! Publishers! I still have nothing to announce regarding the search for a publisher, but all I can say is there's been a bit more movement in this area since the last status update. As soon as I can give you all more info, I will, but for now, things need to be kept under wraps. Conclusion. That's it for this status update. I know this is another small one. Nah, that's massive, Micah. But I still wanted to make sure to keep everyone in the loop. You can expect version 0.14 to release in the coming weeks, followed by more 0.14 subversions for the foreseeable future. As I work on those, I will of course continue working on 1.0 stuff and most. The next status update will be posted around 2 months from now. I'm not sure if I'll have anything more substantial to share then, but for now we'll see. For now, thank you all for your patience as I work towards Baldi's Basics Plus 1.0. I severely appreciate the wait and I think it'll be worth it.